video is also sponsored by Squarespace. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a hopefully really cute summer crop top. For this project, I'm going to be using this absolutely gorgeous green knit fabric. And I really like this one because it has a really pretty ribbed pattern on it, so it feels really nice and textured. And it's also thick enough where it's like not see-through at all. And I got this one at Joann, so I will try to find the fabric and link it in the description box for you guys. And a yard of fabric should be enough for this project. So this design is going to be pretty simple. It's going to have a little bit of ruching in the front, and then it's also going to have these really cute like little sleeves on it. They're just like the little half like shoulder ones. I've never done them like that before, so I'm really excited to like see if I like this design and stuff. And this tutorial really shouldn't be too hard, so it should be really beginner friendly. And I think it's going to be really cute and just like a really good top for summer because I honestly need more shirts. So that's why we're making a lot of shirts recently. And I really don't have like many clothes that are like this color in my closet, so I'm really excited about it. And I love the texture of this fabric so much. And also, just to keep you guys updated, this is going to be my last tutorial in this little room setup because this is the last video I am going to be filming before I am moving. So this setup is going to be different probably the next time you see it. It might be a little bit rough for a little while, so please stick with me while I try to get my room set up. But hopefully I will be seeing you guys very soon in a totally new setup. But it's going to be mostly the same stuff, just in a completely different room. So it might not look that different after all, but just as an update. Anyway, I think it's time to get working on this tutorial. This project really does not have very many pieces at all, and because we're working with a knit fabric, it is way more forgiving than like a woven fabric. So this project should be pretty easy for you guys to pattern yourselves. But if you guys are having any trouble with this pattern, you can also check out my video on my tips for adjusting my patterns that should be popping up in the corner right now. So these two pieces are the front pieces, and these bottom curves should exactly follow each other. We're just doing this cut to give it a little bit more detailing. This next piece is the back piece, and it is pretty straightforward. And then the last pieces are the sleeve pieces, and you're going to cut 2 of these. And this last piece I actually didn't end up using. I just decided to keep in this footage because I thought it was cute. So before we get to sewing, I want to take a minute and talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. So Squarespace is a really cool website that helps you build your own website. It's super easy to get started on Squarespace. They ask you what type of website you want to build for what kind of topic, and then they will show you all kinds of templates that you can browse through and choose from to start building up your own website. And there's also a bunch of different ways that you can use Squarespace. If you have an in-person business, Squarespace can be super helpful keeping track of your inventory and data. Or if you want to sell online, Squarespace also has awesome tools to get your business off the ground. So check out Squarespace today for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your own website, go to squarespace.com/paperstars to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Alrighty, and now it is back to sewing! Okay, so starting on the top, the first thing we're going to do is sew the front pieces together. So we're going to take the bottom piece and the front piece, and we're going to sew this little triangular section together. So I'm going to take the bottom part and fold it up onto the top, and I'm going to pin the center first, and then I'm going to bring the edges down to follow that curve. And I'm going to sew across this bottom. When you're working with knits though, it's super important to make sure that you switch your machine from a straight stitch to a stitch that will work better with knits. So you can use a zigzag stitch on your machine, but I have found that this one works a little bit better for mine. And now that the front piece is sewn, we are going to do one of my favorite sewing tricks with some elastic to do the little ruching in the front. So the elastic I'm using is 1/4 inch braided elastic. You can use whatever kind you want, you just want it to be pretty thin. And I'm just going to cut out a small piece. And I think I am going to start my ruching about 1.5 inches away from the bottom where we sewed it here. And basically we're going to hold it here, do a few zigzag stitches, and then you're going to continue stretching the elastic as you sew down it with a regular straight stitch. And then when we release the elastic, it's going to gather it all up. And now your top should have this really cute ruching detail. And now we're going to take the back piece and we are going to lay it on top of the front one, pretty side to pretty side, and we're going to sew the sides together. So the base of this shirt is kind of done for now, and we want to work on the sleeves next. So the first step on the sleeve is we want to make a casing to put elastic down either side of the sleeves here. So I'm just going to fold either side down twice and pin and sew it so that we create a channel that is big enough for our elastic to go through. Or if your fabric is already kind of on the thicker side like mine is, because this is a knit, it's not going to unravel at all, so you can actually just fold over the edge once and then do the channel, just because I don't want to make this section too thick. And this part you can just go ahead and stitch it with a regular straight stitch. And now I'm going to take some more elastic and I'm going to cut 2 equal pieces. And now I'm going to take one and I'm going to put one end through a safety pin. And I'm going to push it through these casings that we just made. And now I'm just going to put a few stitches at the ends on one side just to hold the elastic in place. And now I'm just going to pull on the elastic to gather up either side just a little bit, and I'm going to pin it in place and then just sew across this side. And now that both of my sleeves have elastic in them, it's time to attach them to the shirt. So when I was gathering my elastic, I made one side a little bit tighter than the other, and the tighter one is going to go away from the center. And I think I also made the top of my shirt a little bit longer than I want it, so I'm going to put these a little bit farther down, and then I'm just going to pin them here and sew them across. It's also really important that you leave at least a little bit of fabric on either side of the front piece. So I'm going to pin one sleeve on either side of the top, and then I'm going to flip it to the back, bring the sleeves over, and also pin them to the back pieces. And now I'm going to sew across either side of the sleeve. She's looking so cute! And now we are on to the very last step on the top. So all that's left to do is to hem all of the raw edges. And because this is knit, it's kind of difficult to hem. So I'm going to show you guys a trick using elastic. So at first we want to make sure we switch our machine to a zigzag stitch. And then we're going to take our elastic and I'm going to lay it right on top of the raw edge. And I'm going to zigzag this all across the edges I want to hem. And when you're connecting it from the sleeve pieces, we're just going to put it to the side where we left that little extra bit of fabric. So I'm going to start it on the back of the fabric, making sure I'm not hitting the sleeve at all. And I'm just going to zigzag all the way down it. And to get this to lay as flat as possible, you may need to stretch your elastic just a tiny bit to keep the tension right. And now I'm going to fold the elastic down, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch all across the elastic. And that technique gives us a very nice finished edge that still has some good stretch to it. So I'm just going to keep doing that technique down the other neckline, the armholes, and the bottom of the top, and then it's all done. And here is the finished top. Although this top was pretty simple to make, I actually think it turned out really nice, and all of the little details make it a lot more elevated than just a basic t-shirt, so it's just a really great staple to have during summer. I've been pairing it with a lot of skirts and shorts, and the skirt I'm wearing I actually made using my mini skirt tutorial, so I'll also put that up in the corner right now. And I think these together just create a really nice and flattering silhouette. Especially if you're a beginner sewer, I think this tutorial might be a really good start for you guys. But even if you aren't a beginner sewer, I still think the design is really cute, so I hope you guys make it anyway. And if you do, you can always send me a picture on Instagram, and I post videos every Friday, so I hope to see you guys next week. Bye!